thinking next week we get something funkier and dirtier? Daddy. Hey, one time my wife and I, crazy. All right, it may take you a while. It may take you quite a bit of time to find it. But, okay, everyone, Christ, I need some help. Can I have a heart?
Focus up. I'm talking to my little buddy, Karita. Last week, it was her 39th birthday in a row. So happy birthday to my little buddy. Maybe we'll see each other maybe tonight, maybe sometime this week. Who knows? I just spent the whole weekend with your kid. He was fantastic. Happy 39th plus 7th birthday to my little buddy. Welcome to episode 104 of the Rubio Method, episode 104. My name is Chris Rubio. Hopefully you figured that out by now. We're going to have a good time. I'm going to get you to learn a couple things. We're going to laugh. We're going to have some good times. As always, if you're subscribing on YouTube, make sure you share that link on X, LinkedIn, Facebook, all those good stuff. Alex Chris just said, what's up? What's up, Gru? How are you doing, my man, out there in Los Angeles? I don't know how you're doing it out there, buddy. We've got an outstanding episode. What's great about this episode is that a lot of it is 2-week-old stuff. I wanted to do an episode last week, but I was up in Harrison, talked about it, my favorite place. But the internet there, let's just say, is not very good. So we tried to get it going, and Jenna tells me I need like download bytes of 700 or whatever, and I had like 7. So that couldn't happen. Here's what we're going to talk about. Everything happens for a reason. Newsflash, Hotness sells. And this is wild because it's like a 2-week-old story, but Jenna knows nothing about it, so I'm waiting to hear her comments. There are winners of the loser's life. It has been a rough couple of weeks. If you were born in the 70s and you grew up an 80s kid, I'll explain that. Accept and embrace. The world, that's with quotation marks, is getting smarter, but are people getting dumber? We're going to talk about that. Working hard is not enough. Uber has come out with a wild decision where they are allowing females to request only female drivers. I'm going to try not to be too rude on that one. And confidence is key. We've got 5 fire questions from the great Jenna out in Canada, who's still looking to get to America. Let's get going right now, Jenna. Everything happens for a reason. So this is a 2-week-old story, but obviously I didn't do a show last week. Sydney Sweeney, known for good butt, big boobs, and she's hot. Okay. She's been naked in a couple of TV shows. She's a younger girl. She has a good time. She's literally famous for being hot. I think she was in that movie with that one dude who's like Top Gun Maverick, the other guy, anyone but you. She's just known for that. And American Eagle, it's a jeans brand. It's a jeans brand. A lot of you probably already know this information. I'm just telling this for Jenna because for some reason she's been in a coma for the last 2 weeks. American Eagle's just a denim brand, jeans, whatever. I honestly didn't know they were still a thing because it's not the 90s anymore or 80s or 2000s, and I don't buy jeans a lot. My wife usually just goes and buys jeans because I refuse to pay that amount of money. So she does an ad for American Eagle. Jenna, do you have this ad? And there was a couple different variations of this ad, but this is just one of them. No, just the ad. No, the first one, the video, Jenna, the video, where it's just a video of her.
Sydney Sweeney has great jeans.
Okay, so those that are listening on Spotify and iTunes, it's just Sydney Sweeney closing a Mustang car's hood. They zoom in on her butt. She kind of pets her butt. I guess she's wiping her hands, and she says, Sydney Sweeney has good jeans. Okay, so it's a double play on, okay, she's got good genes with a J, and I guess you could say she's got good genes with a G as well, because she's obviously got a good butt, good chest, good face. She's not ugly. She's got a good body. Number one, okay. Number two, duh. Why is that controversial? And immediately everyone on the left lost their mind saying, oh my God, this is basically Hitler-esque. Jenna says that's cheap marketing. It's smart marketing. I don't know how cheap it is, Jenna. You can find out how much they paid her, but whatever they paid her, their stock boomed. I mean, blossomed, boomed, ballooned, whatever you want to call it. It went through the roof because everyone's talking about it for 3 weeks straight now, except for Jenna. And it's just one of those things that Hotness sells. It's a no-brainer. Like I've had Billy Jeffries on here before. Billy Jeffries is the owner of the local GNC. He owns 3 of them. I think one in Lewiston, one in Moscow, one in Pullman. And I think the Lewiston one does the best, like any GNC in the country. GNC is just a vitamin place. Okay, you get your protein shakes, all that good stuff. Why does his do so well? Are we the land of bodybuilders down here? No, because Billy Jeffries looks like a Greek god. Okay, and people look at him and they go, okay, yeah, I want to look like that. Sure. Yes, I will take those vitamins that you recommend. Oh, you want me to drink that protein shake? Fantastic. I'll take that as well. So yes, Hotness sells. He's a good looking guy, got a great body. He's had a 6-pack for like 47 years. Okay. Sydney Sweeney's a smoke show. It's one of the genius moves of all time. Why not? And you're thinking, if you're older right now, you're thinking, wait a second. Yeah, Rubio's right. Like in the 80s and 90s, it was like Cindy Crawford on Pepsi and Doritos. Who's the lady that one blonde? She did the Daisy Dukes, but she was the new one, Johnny Knoxville's almost girlfriend, where she was in the Wendy's commercial where she ate a burger or something, or Carl's Jr. Okay. So Jenna wants to know, who is the Sweetie? Why is she so popular? Jenna, I've made it quite clear. Butt, chest, good looking. And she's just smoke show. And she's very seductive, sultry, blah, blah, blah. Some women don't think she's that hot. They're wrong. She's just overly attractive. And American Eagle was smart and said, okay, let's just put the overly attractive girl in the ad. Let's see what happens. We're not asking her to read Beethoven or poetry or anything like that. It's just one of those things. Just say you're hot and you've got good genes. Okay, let's go back to the genes with a G. Why is that a negative to look at someone's genes if you're thinking about, let's say, dating them, marrying them, all that good stuff? I tell my kids all the time. I have my middle son, who's a bigger boy. I always say to him, I want you dating anyone Eastern European, 5'10", whatever. And he goes, well, what if I don't like the way they look? I don't care. We're going to breed an Olympian because you're so damn big. And my wife always makes fun of me and things like, I'm not kidding. I want like a superhuman out of this kid. Okay. Because you get two, like my oldest son, who's a little bit shorter, he's about 6 foot. He always says, oh, I got screwed because of my genes, because his mother is only 5 foot. So I'm 6'2", 5 foot. There's winners and losers in life. So I don't see, number one, what's wrong with looking at someone's genes. I mean, would you date someone if you knew, like, okay, I know at age 40, they're going to go completely blind and have dementia? You'd be like, yeah, I'm probably going to stick away from this family lineage because I don't want to have to deal with my husband and or wife going blind and having dementia at age 40. It's not my cup of tea. Maybe you're a nun or a saint and you want to do that. Okay. Things like that. Or, you know, if you get someone super small, super big, you know, if someone has obese genes and, you know, you look at their entire family at the family reunion and it's like the clumps from, you know, the Nutty Professor, and everyone's 6 foot tall and say 500 pounds, you might want to back up. Simply, unless you're a chubby chaser and you like that sort of stuff. But it'd be like, whoa, this is a code red, because you want to find someone who's got good genes. You don't want dementia at age 40. You don't want them going blind at age 40. There's a million different ways. And so they blew up over this. And this is one of those things that I think ads are starting to make the turn, because Nike had an ad a couple years back with, let's just say, a larger woman. I think she's dancing or owning the floor. She must. And then they just had a new ad with a golfer. And I want to show you the difference in the different ads. So this one's from like 2020, one's from 2025. Go ahead, Jenna, the golf ad. So you have one, own the floor. And this, a bigger lady, she's, I guess, owning the floor. Dance to move you, dance to move others. Yeah. If I'm not, you know, if you're a bigger person, you're going to move others. I guarantee it. If it's a mosh pit or you're just shaking the floor. And so that's one. And then the kid grabbing a putter, the dad just won the golf tournament. It's going back to boom. Look at the family atmosphere. And you're saying to yourself, okay, Rubio, but the jeans one is over the line. It's over the line. And you're thinking to yourself, well, has American Eagle ever done anything? Are they only just a white supremacy company? I don't know, Jenna. Do you have any photos that can show us? Oh, wow, look at that. So I think that's like 2022 or 23, maybe even 20, of American Eagle on the left. Okay. Black woman. Got it. On the right, white woman. Same type of ad, but the one on the right is very controversial for some reason. Or is it someone just wants to complain about everything? And which is kind of ironic due to the fact that if you've not been in a cave or in a coma for the last, let's say 5 years, you cannot go anywhere or watch anything and not notice, like, okay, where are all just the standard white people? And you're thinking to yourself, well, Rubio, don't you want people to look like you in an ad? Could care less. Okay. I don't need to see big, bald, brown people. Doesn't matter to me one bit. I don't care if I ever see a human being with a goatee. If I'm buying some clothing, I want it to look better on the person. So it makes me say like, oh, if I buy those jeans, it's going to make me look like that dude. Okay. How many people bought Nikes back in the day with Air Jordan because they thought they would be able to dunk a basketball? I'm going to go with literally every single kid possible. Okay. Remember when the stupid pump shoes came up and they would pump it up? Okay. How many people bought those shoes? And I think they were $175 back then because you thought you'd be able to jump higher. It happens all the time. How many people, women wear Lululemon stuff and you're not going to yoga class? And I got to be honest, not one dude's complaining. So keep it up. It's fine with us. It's very, very simple. But now, I mean, I just a perfect example. I fly Delta all the time. Going down the tarmac, they have all these pictures of people enjoying life, traveling, all that good stuff. And I was talking to someone that I know that works for Delta. And I go, am I crazy? There's 15 photo ads as you walk down the tarmac to the plane. Not one is just like a white dude with a white chick and like a family. There's not one. Not one. You've got one lady, she's climbing and she's missing an arm, which I don't know what that has to do with anything. You've got like the obvious male on male couple, the female couple, which do what you want. I don't care. But why can't you just have white? Is that a negative? Like, I don't understand. And you can't, if you're going to call me racist, so I'm racist against non-whites, but I'm a non-white. That it doesn't really make sense to me on that one. Okay. So let's go back. You're thinking to yourself, okay, but this is probably the only time they use a celebrity. But I remember Beyonce doing an ad. Okay, so Jenna, do you have this photo? Oh my God. So Beyonce did a Levi's ad. And now can you imagine the rage? I'll just play devil's advocate right here. If Sydney Sweeney dyed her hair black and put it in dreads or braids, because you got Beyonce who dyed her hair light. It looks like she's a little lighter than she's normal. So are we allowed to rage on that, or what are we saying here? And then also, what about the Dylan Mulvaney one, the one with the Bud Light? You remember this ad? So the one on the left is Sydney Sweeney. We're got to be pissed off because she's a woman in an ad selling jeans. But the one on the right, it's a dude or a non-dude or a dude that thinks he's a chick or is a chick. I don't even know at this point, selling Bud Light, but we couldn't rage about that. Oh, okay. I don't get it. And then don't forget, when you've had dudes selling women's underwear, you think of Rubio. There you go. 2023, you've got, it looks like me, my first year teaching. I would never wear, is that a sports bra, Jenna? I don't know what's going on there. Okay. And that's a Calvin Klein ad. Like I'm supposed to go, okay, the one on the left, which I think the one sitting down's a chick. The one on the one on top cannot be. It's got to be a dude. But they're advertising women's underwear. But I'm supposed to say that's okay. But the one on the right's bad. It doesn't really make sense. And I think this was just totally overblown. But American Eagle is just laughing right now. They're those people wiping their tears with $100 bills. And I know this for a fact because I went to high school with a girl. I'm not going to say her name, but I know she lives out in New York. She's really into fashion. And she was on this campaign. Because I remember specifically leading up to this campaign, she kept posting on her Instagram and all that stuff. Big campaign, big campaign, big campaign, big campaign. She would like sneak out little things. And let's just say that this girl and I would not be able to high five each other politically at all. Like not even close. Like she's very, very, very on one side and I'm more on this side. And put it this way. She hasn't made one comment about the ad on her Instagram. So that therefore it shows me they know exactly what they're doing and they're just riding this wave. And as they should. Okay. Hotness sells. Now you've got, like they say, any press is good press. They're having bad press. They're having good press. But you know what? I heard those American Eagle jeans are sold out. Their stock is going through the roof. Sydney Sweeney hasn't even had to say anything. I think she went to a premiere 2 nights ago and someone yelled out she's a racist. Yeah. And Jenna says she was fully clothed as well. It's not like she was just walking around naked. Okay. Where she was, just had like Abercrombie, like button on her butt cheek or something like that. This is a whole thing where she was fully clothed, man. It was a little provocative and she's showing a little boob doing to what she's got to do, but they're not stupid. And if you look at the ad, like Jenna said, cheap ad, it's just her. It basically a Mustang that they probably rented and like a white backdrop. The whole ad probably cost, let's say they didn't pay her, which they did. The ad probably cost a couple $100,000, if that. I'll talk to one of my buddies who does all this stuff, but there's no way it costs a lot because there's not a lot of setup. There's no graphics. There's no AI, which we'll talk about later. But it's one of those things that it's just who cares? And if you want to just keep playing this game, keep playing this game, because a lot of quote unquote people have had to put up with the other side for about 5 years. So if it's coming back to normalcy, thank the Lord, because I'm ready for it to come back to a little bit of normalcy. Let's go to, let's get this one over with, because this is sad to me. There are winners and losers in life. It was a very, very rough week. If you were an 80s child, that means you were, let's say, Gen X, born in the 70s, I think even late 60s. You had 3 big losses in, I think, about a 3-day span. Theo Huxtable, Ozzy Osbourne, Hulk Hogan. Okay. I just don't understand how that all happens at once. The Ozzy Osbourne, he's one of those rockers that, okay, I get it. He's old. He's done a lot of drugs. He was a part of Black Sabbath. Jenna, can you increase that? I can't see that. I think Jason Johnson, that comment. Looks at what happened to Jaguar and how their sales tanked after that crazy trans campaign last year. Jason Johnson brings up a great comment. And that guy, that CEO, after 3 years, just got fired. We talked about it on the show. Jaguar came out, or Jaguar, however you want to came out. They did, Jaguar has the sports cars. Nice, really nice cars, sports cars. If you've ever been in one, I was one in one, probably 1997. Absolutely phenomenal. Great sports cars. They came out with an ad where it was just like sort of Tron meets Pac-Man meets Tecmo, that meets who knows what's going on. And there was probably 8 or 9 people in it. And not one person you could tell, like, that's a dude, that's a chick. You could not tell at all. And I don't even think they highlighted a car at all. It was just like evolve, change, Jaguar. And we talked about it on the show, like, what are you selling? And I don't even understand how that even gets by, because how does someone not in the room say, I don't know, we sell cars, guys. Maybe let's show the car. Who's going to buy this car? Is it people that have money that want to see the car, or people that think they're in the future in Tron? So Jason Johnson brings up an absolute excellent point, and he would know all about this stuff. So there are winners and losers in life. All right. So each one of these guys, Theo, Hulk Hogan, and Ozzy, they've had their great moments. They've had their bad moments. I'm just going to talk about their good moments, because if you try to do that with every single person where you just brought about their bad moments in life, everyone would look like an ass. That's very, very simple. So the big one with Hulk Hogan, the big thing with him is here's a tweet for you kids out there. More people watched Hulk Hogan versus Andre wrestling match. I think it was Hulkamania 1 or WrestleMania 1, excuse me. More people watched that wrestling match than watched the World Series, NBA Finals, and Stanley Cup final combined that year. 33 million people watched that. Do you have to understand how bizarre and outstanding of a statement that is? And that's because WrestleMania and all that stuff was kind of just blooming. There it is. Okay. 33 million people watch Andre the Giant versus Hulk Hogan on the main event live on NBC. That's unbelievable. Let me repeat. More than watch the World Series, NBA Finals, and Stanley Cup final combined that year. That's unbelievable. And wrestling, remember, it's fake, it's real, it is what it is. But Hulk Hogan was an absolute icon. He was bigger than life itself. He was Thunderlips from Rocky 3. He was it Rocky 3? Yeah, Rocky 3. And it was just one of those guys that, eat your vitamins, say your prayers, and he was the all-American guy. Some people started to hate him. Of course, he came out for El Trumpo at the Republican National Convention where he ripped off his shirt. He died at 71 years old of a heart attack, I believe it was. Odds are the dude did a lot of steroids in his time, so what do you expect? Let's go back to Theo, though. Theo was in probably one of, if not the most popular shows in the 80s, The Cosby Show. And this was one of those shows that was just groundbreaking because everyone watched it. This was before, a lot of times, I will say this, I've said it publicly several times, this was before the world became a quote unquote a little bit more racist, where everyone, I remember all my friends wanted to be either this person or that person. You were Theo, you were this person, you were that person, you were the chubby kid that was always bouncing on Cliff's knee. And this is before we found out that Bill Cosby, he tended to taint some ladies' drinks. We'll just say that. And he's doing his time for it, for that. So this was, I think this is the first episode, and I'm going to pause this one a couple of times, Jenna. This is where he's talking about where he doesn't need good grades. He's talking to his father, and he's saying, because he's just going to become a working man. And what this scene is so great for is because as a child, let's say a teenager, you look at it and you go, I understand. I'm with Theo. I'm with Theo. And then as you watch it as an adult, you go, I'm with Cliff. Cliff's the dad, Bill Cosby. I'm with Cliff 100%. So this, I think this is the first scene, one of the first episodes. Go ahead, Jenna.
you expect to get into college with grades like this?
No problem.
Huh?
See, I'm not going to college.
Damn right.
I am going to get through high school and then get a job like regular people.
Regular people?
Yeah, you know, who work in the gas station, drive a bus, something like that.
So what you're saying is your mother and I shouldn't care if you get D's because you don't need good grades to be regular people.
Okay, what's perfect here is that Theo thinks he has the greatest argument in the world, and Bill, or Cliff Huxtable, is just sitting there waiting. And every parent has done this, where you're just waiting for the kid to mess up because you know that you've got him lined up against the shooting squad, and you're just going to I'm going to let him play it out a little bit just to show you how dumb he is. Keep going, Jenna. Jenna, press play. Nope. Okay, we lost that clip. Maybe Jenna will get it back. But he goes basically.
Okay. Oh, suppose you graduate from high school. Let's say you just slide by. All right. Now you got to find a job. Now, what kind of salary do you expect for a regular person?
$250 a week.
$250 a week?
Yeah.
Sit down. I'm going to give you $300 a week. Yes, indeed. $300 a week, $1,200 a month. All right?
Great, I'll take it.
Yes, you will. And I will take $350 for taxes.
Whoa.
Huh? Yeah. Now, because, see, the government comes for the regular people first. Now, how much does that leave you with?
$850.
All right. Now, you've got to have an apartment because you are not going to live here. So, an apartment in Manhattan will run you at least $400 a month.
I'll live in New Jersey.
All right. You live in New Jersey, you've got to have a car.
I ride a motorbike.
You need a helmet. Figure $100 a month for clothes and shoes.
Figure 200. I want to look good.
Okay, so what does that leave you with?
$200. So, no problem.
There is a problem. You haven't eaten yet.
I can get by on bologna and cereal. So, I got everything I need, plus $200 left for the month.
You plan to have a girlfriend?
For sure.
So that is just absolute perfect. Jenna says it was a great show, and it actually was. There was a couple other episodes that would just hit so much home. Every time they did a family reunion, when they had the whole singing coming down the stairway, and they all did the acting, those were absolutely great. And he was like, I think 56 years old, and he died in a riptide or whatever like that is at the ocean. So not good, not good at all. One of the other great scenes when it was his $95 Gordon Gartrell shirt, which is another one. I'm not going to play the clip right now, but it's one of those where you see it, and it's one of those where you just, as a parent, you get it, and as a kid, you also get it. Jenna, actually, let's play that clip. $95 Gordon Gartrell shirt.
This on my date with Christine. Oh, she is gonna die.
Hotness does it again. How much is it?
See the label? Gordon Gartrell. This is the shirt.
Gordon Gartrell is a big designer.
Check out these details. Hidden buttons, flap on the back,
Yeah.
two-tone pockets.
Work of art. How much?
But the real thrill is the fabric. Pure silk. Are your hands clean?
Doctor's hands are always clean.
Then why are they always washing them?
How much? How much? How much?
Dad, if you want quality, you're gonna have to pay for it.
$95.
Oh, well, there must be a pair of pants in there, too.
$95.
Dad, the salesman said this will last a lifetime. And just think, if I live to be 90, that's about $1 a year.
Theo, I don't have a $95 shirt, and I have a job.
Don't you want something better for your son?
Sure. You want to trade your room for that shirt?
No.
All right, then. The shirt goes back.
But Dad, I told Christine I was getting a Gordon Gartrell.
Tell Christine you lied.
Dad.
No 14-year-old boy should have a $95 shirt unless he is on stage with his 4 brothers.
Absolutely fantastic. On a side note, I've done that exact same thing with my wife, where she goes to TJ Maxx or Ross or wherever those places are, and says, she'll get something, pillows, I don't know what the hell people buy at those places. And I was like, how much is that? She goes, I got it on discount. I go, how much was it? 30% off. How much was it? 2 for 1. For the love of Christ, how much did that cost? And then it eventually comes out with whatever, $19.99. So I feel your pain, Cliff Huxtable. Okay. Jenna says, yeah, but 6-year-olds could have $1,000 cell phone. Yeah. Nowadays it's a different world. That was the 80s though. Okay. So the last person I want to talk about is Ozzy Osbourne, obviously a huge musician. He was with Black Sabbath. Everyone knows his singing voice. I'm not going to play any of his songs because YouTube will stop him right off the bat. He became very, very popular. Jason Johnson says it's called girl math. Very funny and very true. Ozzy Osbourne became much more known. I think Jenna said it was 2006 when the show The Osbournes came out. It was basically the first 2005, first reality show that came out. And it blew everyone's mind because Ozzy was like, this heavy metal rocker, blah, 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 bite the head off a bat, worship Satan, whatever you think, blah, blah. And then he starts talking and you can't understand a thing he's saying, like literally nothing. And not only can't you not understand the thing he's saying, he's dropping F-bombs like it's going out of style. And it's one of those things. So I'm going to play you a couple of clips. This first one is hilarious where he's trying to find the cat in the backyard. And I apologize for the F-bombs. This is Ozzy, not me. So Jenna, you have this first video of him trying to find a cat.
Fucking hell. Where is she? She run back. Where is the cat? Where? Come on, Puss. Oh, you fucking dumb shit, motherfucker. I don't want to be fucking landscape fucking walking this time. Fucking animals, man. I'm gonna batter the thing over the fucking head with my walking stick. Sharon! 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 The fucking cat. I've got her.
You're not meant to be doing
I know this, Johnny, but nobody else will get the fucking cat. No, I'm trying to.
Come on, I want you to come upstairs and
I know,
lie
but
down.
I don't. I'm as more than my all the kids fucked up, I don't want the coyotes to get the cat.
Okay, so that's just a taste of Ozzy. And then this next one, I came across it. I wasn't going to play it, but it's too funny. This is him telling a snorkeling story. Now, mind you, this guy, if you ever listen to any of his songs, Iron Man, War Pigs, anything like Mama, I'm Coming Home, he's got one of the most clear, beautiful voices you've ever heard, but it sounds like he's gargling on broken glass and soy sauce or something right now. Now, listen to this snorkeling story. Try not to laugh.
In Fiji one time, and I'm snorkeling with this fucking song right in this fucking lagoon. So I tap him and I go, and he takes off. I'm going, he's fucking seen something. So I start swimming like the fucking clappers, my fucking arms are going like, my legs are going like the fucking, I'm swimming like an outboard motor. I'm swimming up the fucking beach, I've got to stop swimming when I get to the fucking guard star, and I've got sand and shit and sea. I said, what do you see, man? He goes, something touched me. I said, it's me, you fucking asshole.
So classic Ozzy. And he was just a nice guy. He left us too soon, but this one final farewell note where he just talks about what do you need to do every day to become a success? And even when he's getting poignant, it's like a 20-second clip. You got 18 seconds of him being, oh, Hallmark, so nice, and watch how he ends it.
What do you got to worry about? He's getting through today. That's all you got to worry about.
Just live each day to the fullest. Don't worry about it. Stop worrying. You're creating more problems than there already is.
I just caught myself on the door handle with this thing, my nuts.
On that note, Jenna, let's go to commercial and we'll come back with Accept and Embrace. I'm out.
You have been watching The Rubio Method.
Let's get going, gang!
Our dedicated staff is ready to work for you. Artbeat specializes in custom apparel. Call us or order online. Free shipping nationwide. Custom printed shirts are our specialty, and we make sure you get exactly what you want. Bring in your own design or let our team create one for you. Promote your business, event, or club with pens, caps, bottles, mugs, and more.
Creating cool since 1985.
Take it away, Rubio.
Focus up. I'm talking to you, Todd at Artbeat, the man who made me this wonderful shirt. And ironically, Jason Johnson, who was just commenting, he's the one that designed this fantastic logo. And that logo up there. Okay. And the long second logo right over there. Okay. They're basically all over the place. So thank you to those two. And Artbeat, they do a great job. Obviously, if you provide your own logo and stuff, they can make it for you. Or if you don't know what you're doing, you can contact them at Artbeat and on Facebook, and they will do all that great stuff for you. And obviously, we're very appreciative of them being one of the sponsors of the Rubio Method. Welcome back to episode 104. My name is Chris Rubio. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, X, Instagram, TikTok, all that good stuff. All right, accept and embrace. Per Fortune magazine, Gen Z men with college degrees now have the same unemployment rate as non-grads. This is groundbreaking. So this means all the recent graduates, everyone's always said, get your college degree, get your college degree, and you're definitely going to have a job. Not so much anymore. Okay, now what's the reason for this? There's a couple different reasons in my book. Okay, number one, there's a lot of stupid degrees. All right, there's a lot of, if you get a degree in underwater basket weaving and you can't get a job at the underwater basket weaving, factory down the street, you know why? Because there's no underwater basket weaving. If you're going to get a simple major like that just because you're thinking of doing it, or there's a great meme that's going around where this college-age daughter goes to her dad and says, I'm majoring in philosophy. And he says, that's great because the philosophy factory is taking jobs down the street. Obviously, philosophy is going to be one of those where you're probably not going to make a lot of money unless you become like a speaker or something like that, because what are you making? What are you doing? How are you going to make money like that? So number one, lots of stupid degrees. Number two, kids are getting dumber. There's no doubt in my mind on this. I deal with a lot of kids. And the reason why I say kids are getting dumber is because so many of them are doing online stuff. And a lot of this obviously started due to COVID, but you can see it a lot now where a lot of kids in college are only allowed to take online classes. Like you're literally not allowed to go into class. Okay. And don't get me wrong. I was not a huge fan of, I want to go into class and sit in the front of next to the professor and take those notes and listen to this guy jibber jabber about Russian history from 1804 to 1805. Wasn't that guy at all. But that created some social awareness, number one. It made you learn, number two. And it showed you how to be personable. It showed you how to get along with others. Like I've said 1,000 times on this show and other places. The biggest thing I learned in college, it's not what you know, it's who you know and how well you know them. I'll say that again for you. It's not what you know, it's who you know and how well you know them. That's the biggest thing I learned in college. And if you're not going to class and you're just sitting in front of your computer, how are you going to learn how to be human? How are you going to learn to have a real life job? Jenna says, so true. Thank you, Jenna. That's why you get paid the big bucks. Then you have the option of homeschool versus normal school. And homeschool, when I grew up, was okay. You had these kind of quote unquote the weird kids over here that were the homeschool, and then the quote unquote normal kids went to regular school. Now I'm seeing a lot of it where it's switching. And I remember when COVID hit, and I told my wife, I said, if this becomes a big, big thing, I will homeschool my kid and a couple other kids, and I will make it to where, okay, my good buddy Dennis, he's an electrician. On Tuesdays, every kid learns from Dennis. He's going to have a lesson. He's going to show us what to do. I don't care if it's 35, 45 minutes. He's going to show us something to do. Okay, I have another guy named Chuck, and say Chuck is a good physical therapist. On Wednesdays, we're going to learn about physical therapy. That's what we're going to do. All right. So that's, I've got 34. He works the mill. He's going to show us all around the mill. He's going to explain that aspect of his life to us so they can learn real life things. Because a lot of times if you're just sitting in a classroom, you may think you're learning, but you're not really learning at all. And that's becoming a big, big thing. And the problem with this is if you don't have any value to what you can do in life, you are going to be replaced very, very quickly. And you're thinking to yourself, okay, Rubio, like what do you know? What makes you say this? Let me show you what's going on. There's a guy named Dave Rubin of the Rubin Report. I watch his show quite frequently. He's a good guy. He's very interesting because he's a former very liberal Democrat that he switched over, and he's a gay dude that's married to ironically another guy named Dave. And so you can't, the people on the left can't rip at him for doing something because it's interesting to watch. But every month he takes a whole month off of August. Every August he takes the whole month off. And so this month he's been hinting, okay, what he's going to do. I mean, he goes completely dark. He doesn't do anything on social media, nothing like that. And so his July 31st show, at about an hour and 13 minutes into it, he says, we've been working with this. I'm going to be gone, but we've been playing around with AI, and we've created AI Dave, artificial intelligence Dave. And he's going to be doing portions of the show when I'm not here. They're just going to basically feed him topics. And AI Dave has been watching real Dave for the past 4 months, learning how he moves his eyes, his eyebrows, his tone, his vernacular, the way he moves. If it's Rubio, he'd be like doing his hands like this, getting big-eyed, maybe laughing real loud, talking to Jenna the entire time. So this is AI Dave. Okay, AI Dave is the main one. And then real Dave is going to be in the bottom, it's right-hand corner of my screen, maybe left-hand corner of your screen. Go ahead, Jenna.
Dave. All right. AI Dave, how are you, my friend?
Hey there. I'm doing all right, just kicking it in the studio. What's up with you?
Well, this is my last day being on the grid. I'm very excited for August. You're going to be able to handle the show without me?
Going off the grid, huh? Sounds like an adventure. Honestly, I think we'll manage, but I'm sure you'll be missed around here. Just make sure you enjoy your time off. You deserve it.
That's the plan. Now, AI Dave, one of the things that I understand is that you can actually see me right now. What am I holding in my hands right here?
You've got a pair of glasses in your left hand. Looking sharp, my friend.
Absolutely unbelievable. Can you tell me what I'm wearing?
You're rocking a gray jacket over a white t-shirt. Looking casual yet.
Okay. That's really cool and really scary as hell. Because you can obviously tell that AI Dave is a little bit slower. He's processing all the information, but the more you speak to that, it's just like anything on your phone. If you talk to Siri all the time, the more you talk to it, the more it starts to pick you up. You could be Ozzy Osbourne just blah, 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 gargling with rocks, and they'll still be able to pick up what you're saying. So number one, very cool. Number two, very frightening, because how is that not going to just take over everything? And how in the hell does it say like, okay, what are you holding up? Oh, I'm holding up a pair of glasses. What am I wearing? Okay. And then it obviously can see right away, like, okay, he's wearing a gray jacket and a white t-shirt. And so this is going to, once it starts to speed up a little bit, because right now you can hear it pause and it's talking a little bit slower than Dave usually talks. But that is, holy hell, cool, but frightening. And it goes back to the point of, in case you don't know any real world skills, if you're just book taught, you're going to be left out in the cold. You're going to be left out in the dark very, very soon here, because AI is just going to take over. I mean, if it could take over for a host, a TV host or a podcast host, it could do everything. And I'm not saying that podcast hosting is the super hardest thing in the world. I mean, I do it 1 day a week and I love to do it 5 days a week, but it's not like I'm laying brick. Okay. I'm not working at the mill doing swing shift. It's not one of those things. That's a lot harder to do than what I'm doing right now. Nothing against podcast hosts, but it's one of those things that if they can start taking over this, what's them going to take over anything else? So kind of freaky, kind of scary. I don't know. I don't know what you guys think about that. Working hard is not enough. Working hard is not enough. Uber, the rideshare company, is opening up a massive can of worms. Okay, what are they doing? Uber is rolling out a new feature next month that will allow women to choose women-only rides, giving both female riders and drivers the option to avoid being matched with men. Okay, so there it says Uber is rolling out a new feature next month that will allow women to choose women-only rides, giving both female riders and drivers the option to avoid being matched with men. Okay, so does this mean that dudes can request dude-only drivers? And I'm not saying one sex is better drivers than the other. I'm just saying sometimes you get into a crowded area and you could have one driver, and that driver could be very, very bad and can make you car sick in Vegas, which I've had happen. Or, you're getting picked up late at night. And if you're a dude, I always want to be picked up by an older lady. Usually it's like a grandma type lady driving Ubers at night for some reason, because they're always nice. How you doing, honey? What are you doing? Things like that. And then what if if I want to request an Uber driver as a female, but what if I identify as a woman? Am I allowed to do that? When does it become a sexist question? I don't know. I don't know. I just think it's opening up a massive can of worms. I understand why they're doing it. If I was a chick and it's midnight and I'm coming home from the bar, I think it would be an issue for me as well. Jason Johnson says, once AI is able to duplicate genuine human feelings like love and hate, we are screwed. Jason Johnson, I would say you're 1,000% right on that, because that's the one thing where you can see where it's just not there yet, or it doesn't know like, oh, I should be giggling right now. Ha 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 ha. And it becomes too fake. But like you said, once it gets empathy, love, hate, then what comes next? Jealousy, rage, anger. We've all seen Terminator 2. Okay. The machines are coming. And I think it's frightening as hell. It's one of those things. And you see, if you're on X at all with Elon, every single day he has Grok, Grok, where it's like Chat GPT. And pretty much every week they're doing an update on it where you can do more and more and more and more and more and more and more. And even in the Teslas now, you could just have a full on conversation with someone as you're driving. And you could like say, hey, tell me a story to keep me awake, talk dirty to me, be angry to me. If you have like Grok Extreme or Grok, is it dirty or Grok Mature? You could say, make me work out. And it'll say, you fat son of a, and it'll cuss you out to get you motivated to work out. So like Jason Johnson just said, yeah, that's 100% true. Once it has love and hate, holy hell, you'll be happy if you live in the hills of Idaho. That's all I'm saying. So this working hard is not enough. The Uber, I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing. If I had a daughter, I would think it's a great thing, but I think you're playing with fire if you're Uber, because what makes me not be able to do this, do that, all that good stuff. So I don't know. In my opinion, I'm not sure. I think it's going to end up being a bad decision just because people are too sensitive. Confidence is the key. Jenna and everyone else that emails Rubio at therubiomethod.com has 5 quick questions for me. See how I'll react to them. Jenna, go ahead with number 1. Rubio, did you see this? Yes, I did. Yes. Please tell me you have a video or a picture of it. This new insect in Australia, I think it's 15 inches long. Oh, Jesus.
Abducted by aliens. Actually, well, she has been abducted by aliens.
There's 0 chance I'm going to Australia. I have no desire to go to Australia. Number 1, I don't want to sit on a plane that long. Number 2, I've heard horrific stories about spiders there that can kill you like within seconds. I know they have snakes. I think they have bats. I don't trust kangaroos. They're just like, I've heard someone say they're just deer on steroids. And now 15-inch insects. That, if you look, that was as long as that dude's forearm. Like, can you imagine just rolling through outside and that thing just falls on your head or something? Okay. And Jenna says, was it made in a lab? Probably. I don't know what's going on in Australia. It's upside down. And Jenna says, it went this long for humans to find it now. Weird. Yeah. They need to check Chernobyl, some sort of, toxic waste situation. Where's that thing been hiding? What's it eat? Why is it around? I'm 100% out with Australia. Jenna, next question, please, for the love of God. Would you rather be deaf or blind? Oh, easy. I'd rather be deaf. Blind would be a huge loss. Number 1, I was just talking to someone about this. This is disgusting. How do blind people know when they're done wiping their butt? Like, is it strictly a smell thing? I know it's disgusting, but someone brought that up to me and I was like, I don't know. Because, I mean, Jenna says it's a good question. I mean, you never know if someone's in your house. I mean, I think your hearing is increased a lot, but being deaf, My God, being blind would be out. I would be a hard pass. That question depressed me, Jenna. Nothing wrong with all the blind people out there. Rubio, I need your help. My next door neighbor has been throwing their dog's poop over the fence in my yard. They deny. Can you give me any advice or tell me what you would do? Number one, I would throw it right back, especially if it's like, say it's a Great Dane and the dog's crap is the size of my head and you have a Chihuahua. I'd be like, okay, it's obviously not Pedro, my Chihuahua. It's Johnny, your Great Dane. Number one. Number two, I would set up a camera. Easily set up now. Set up a camera so where you can always film the movement, because it's obvious. And it's one of those things that you could tell and it wouldn't be that hard. And if that doesn't work, once you set up the camera, then I'd go to like my either HOA or I'd go to my local city and say, hey, next door neighbor's throwing dog crap in my yard. And you can tell because it's landmines, because he's got a St. Bernard and I've got a Bichon Frise. So that's what I would do. Good question. Next one, Jenna. Rubio talk about food a lot, so I have to ask if you ever entered a food eating contest. I have never entered a food eating contest, but someone entered me. When I was in 8th grade or my freshman year in high school, one of my buddy's dads saw me and obviously knew I was a big boy. We're talking 5'10", 5'11", probably about 260 at this point. And he says, I'm entering you in a pizza eating contest with me. I was like, okay. He goes, but you have to choose one topping. Okay. He chose olives. Olives suck. Olives are the worst. Never once did I say I like olives, but he said olives would be the easiest to get down. Okay. Now I hate olives. That probably, now that I think about it, probably is why I got PTSD from olives. Because to me, olives are, if I was just eating a killer whale, it would be black, salty, and rubbery. Exactly like an olive. And they're disgusting. I don't like olives. So yes, I have been entered in one. No, we did not win. Probably because that bozo put olives on the pizza. Put sausage or pepperoni or even extra cheese. I'm throwing that baby down. I'm winning. But olives, Jesus, what an idiot. I'm no longer friends with that kid anymore either. Jenna, you got one more question for me. Rubio, if you had to give up one modern convenience forever, indoor plumbing, Wi-Fi, AC, or oven. Oh, goodbye oven. Who gives a crap? Oven's gone. AC, absolutely not. Don't forget to watch AC of AC Sports Live at 9 o'clock tonight. And the ride with Chevy and Nasty, like that transition right there, Jenna, at 9:30. But no, AC, a mandatory. What was the other one? Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi, you got to have Wi-Fi nowadays. Indoor plumbing, I'm not walking outside in the winter to take a dump. Okay. It's cold here. There's no way in hell I'm walking outside to pee, let alone take a dump when it's like 25 degrees. Zero chance. AC, no. Oven. I haven't used my oven in a while. I'm not much of a baker, cooker. Is that what it's called? Chef. But then my wife did show me we have an air fryer in our oven. And I've been reheating my pizza with that. What a game changer that damn thing is. Because if you don't have an air fryer, get one, because it makes the pizza like crispy. And now I won't microwave my pizza anymore after, because it's I don't know. You saw what I did there with AC. Thanks, Dave Bradley. Love seeing all the pictures of your family, by the way. Beautiful, beautiful family. All right. So Jenna says, yes, it's amazing. Are you trying to say amazing, Jenna? Is that Canadian? Where you just wrote amazing? Amazing. All right. So that's our 5 questions. As always, if you have any questions for Jenna or myself, you can email rubio@therubiomethod.com. Let's get to the bottom line. The bottom line is all the stuff that you should have learned without even realizing you learned it tonight. All right. Number 1. Let's be real, people. Let's be real here, people. Hotness sells. We got it. This is a no-brainer. Okay, it sells. That obviously the American Eagle Sydney Sweeney ad. Number 2, you get older and people start dying. My mother hates when I say that, but 3 icons of the 80s went down in 1 week, and I'm starting to look around and I'm like, oh, everyone's getting older except for my little buddy who just turned 39 for the 7th time. Okay, but everyone else is getting older, and as you get older, people die. Number 3, start preparing now for different types of work. Just like Jason Johnson was saying about the whole AI thing, this is undoubtedly coming, people. I don't know what to tell you. You better start being really, really good at a very, very individual type thing, or it's going to get swallowed up by AI. And like Jason Johnson said, once they learn love and hate, holy hell, run for the hills. Just make sure you have indoor plumbing, AC, and a little bit of Wi-Fi. Jenna says, I wish I was retired like Dave Bradley. Everyone wishes they're retired like Dave Bradley. You just have to play like 20 years in the Premier League soccer. Big stud. Make sure you follow Dave Bradley on LinkedIn. He's great. On that note, I want to thank Jenna for all she did. Thank everyone for commenting on Facebook, LinkedIn, X, YouTube. It'll be up on Spotify and iTunes within 24 hours. Obviously, want to thank the fantastic Jenna. She did a wonderful, wonderful job with short notice as well. So we'll try to be back, I think, next maybe Monday or Thursday, Jenna. I have some plans next week, and I got to make sure I'm in good Wi-Fi. On that note, I want to thank everyone. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share. I'm out.
Thanks for watching The Rubio Method. Be sure to spread the word, and don't forget to subscribe, like, or follow on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, Google, Amazon, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Facebook.